Okay, I am including you people a tad late, since I've been working on this for a while and not rolling the recorder. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the ink job that was done in Blender and I'm just going through and painting. So I'm going to do it in a couple layers. Most of it's all going to be on one layer, but I'm going to have a second layer because this sequence right here, it'll just be easier if this guy is just completely over top of the other characters. So no big deal. So let me go in. Let's see. I think we want to have a keyframe here for sure. I can take. I can have the brush on a fill brush. I guess they just call it a fill. And if I hit Alt, I can draw lines with the fill color. And if I hit Control, I can actually draw fill shapes. So I'm not worried about the eye. I'm going to come back and I'll catch the color on the eyes later. So okay, a little bit of a squeeze. Hey now. Oh, that's erase. Sorry. I hit Control Alt. See, Control Alt does erase the same as it does when you're doing regular brushing. I have a feeling that's gonna bomb because I really need to clean up some of these. Yeah, okay. That's because of that little hole right there, I bet. Yep. Okay. Now, obviously, we're, really, really cartoony on this section, but I gotta say, when I played it back, I thought the entertainment value was so strong that it was okay to leave it a little on the rough side. You'll see here what I'm talking about. I told you yesterday. This poor guy. This guy. He got kicked. I can see why these guys from the 40s making all the Bugs Bunny cartoons. I can totally see why they were so violent. Because it's funny. It's funny. I'm here to tell you. So yeah, this poor sap has been kicked out the window, kicked in the nads. It's just not his day. And now he comes racing at our heroes with the attitude of the kid in Pulp Fiction who comes racing out of the bedroom and takes 6 shots at Travolta and Samuel Jackson and misses with all 6 shots. Oh, it could have been so beautiful, but it weren't. Okay, so I can just loop around these guys and then re-click. Pretty much does the trick. So yeah, I mean, I have to say, painting is like my least favorite thing to be doing, in animation. I would have to say, pretty much. But it's fairly painless in Blender. I will say that as well. So, like I said, I'm leaving this rough because A, it's a really wide shot, and B, the sort of loose, like right there, we're actually bending his. Richard Williams would be proud of me. I'm actually bending the guy's. I'm breaking his elbow. I'm bending his elbow back so he could. That's the end of the shot. So now I got to go back and start looking at other stuff. But yeah, I mean, painting is, to me it's tedium. The fun part is drawing and, coming up with the story and all the rest. Okay, so now the problem we have, pretty much, is that I'm going to have to pilfer some colors from OpenTunes. So how are we going to do that? I think that, let's see, this shot, for example, gives us her hair color, her eye color, her nightie color. All right, so, and we've got our ninja in the background as well. So I'm just going to hit print screen, and I'm opening Krita. So, there's probably some more efficient way to do this, but I'm just going to... Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I want to check one thing. With Blender, we have the ability, obviously, to take a color and do a sampling thing. What I don't know is, do you have to be sampling Blender's window? It looks like you do, because if I go outside Blender's window, the cursor, well, actually, yeah, the cursor changes to an arrow. So I'm pretty sure that's not going to work. So I'm going to have to do it the hard way, which is to create this from the clipboard, and then just for kicks and giggles, I'm going to go ahead and crop it to something like that. And then let's save this as L anime image reference hairstyles and clothing. So most of these are just actually general reference material. So let's go to characters, and I'm gonna say let's create a new folder and call it color. Okay, we don't want to make this a Krita document. We really want to make this either a JPEG or a PNG. Since transparency isn't important, I'm going to make it a JPEG. Okay, so this is Akari Ninja 1. Yeah, what's missing is Ninja 2's hair, actually. Oops, we got to go to OpenTunes. Oops. I keep saying whoops, don't I? Okay, okay, so he's basically got steel blue eyes, and there's his costume. So I'm going to print screen that, and maybe I can just paste it in here. Hit the A for the animate tool, move it up a little bit, actually something like that, just so I'm getting the parts of him that I need. And we'll save this as Zen. And what's missing still is Ninja number 2. Oh, actually, he's already been dispatched by the time we see this part, so... well, I guess that's as good as anything. Whatever. As long as it shows his hair, it's really his hair color that's missing. So, boom. And file, save as Ninja 2. Okay. Now, having done that, I guess what we can do in Blender is go into object mode, hit tab a couple times, hit Shift A, because what I want to add is images as planes. I could use the other image options like background and stuff, but I just don't even want to spend time right now fiddling around with what the nuance between those is, or is, what the nuance is. Characters, color. So I'm going to select all 3 of these, I am not really recognizing them as image sequences. I want to make them shadeless. Alpha really doesn't matter. Offset the planes. Yeah, let's offset them. That way they'll all be kind of in a row. Yeah, see. Now, when we shift to some sort of rendered version of the view, we have our reference material. So now let's hit the G key and let's move this to here. Let's size them up. And now if you look here, I really want these to be kind of back and out of the way. So I'm going to G go on the Y axis, move them back, and now I can size them up. And let's go to the front view. So yeah, I guess I have to say this is a bit of a... Okay, that's probably the best option. We'll just go with the rendered view because that shows us everything. Now, one thing I'm curious about... Well, there's quite a few things I'm curious about, if the truth be known. But I'm just going to move these up out of the way even more because, frankly, I only need to sample the colors one time. So, object mode, I need to select my grease pencil object so I can go back into draw mode. So now what I'm going to do is, let's just call this, we'll call this Zen hair. And then what we'll do is we'll grab this and sample that. Okay. This will be Zen iris. Kind of important. We want to be careful here though, not to catch part of the iris that is in shadow. So this is a little anal, but what we need to do is grab that color right there. Okay, we're done. Well, we're not done with Zen. We need Zen robe. And the secret truth of the matter is we stole this color from Mr. Big. Okay. Gosh, I wish I could just go cut and paste, but what I need to do is go... There's a bit of a process you go through when you want to duplicate a color, which I'm doing only to duplicate all the parameters of it because I just want it to be a simple fill color. You hit plus, you select the color you want to base it on, which I guess doesn't matter. I'm going to grab skin, and then you click this button to turn it into a duplicate. Okay, so this is going to be Ninja 2 hair, kind of an important color that has been popping up all over the place in this shell. Okay, now we need Akari's hair, Akari's nightie. Unfortunately, her nightie is her iris. So I'll just copy Zen's hair here and Zen's hair here. Make this a duplicate. Make this a duplicate. Now it's unique, and I call this Akari hair. Akari nightie, which is also coincidentally the color of her iris. Couple more colors we need. Let's get the ninja costume and the ninja wraps. Okay, so into hair, duplicate, duplicate. Okay, so this is ninja costume, ninja wraps. Alright, grab this, and what we're going to do is sample that color right there. We probably better zoom in for this one because I know I'm going to botch it. Obviously there's a lot of similarity between several of these colors. Okay, so now we do actually have a problem. Darn it. Okay. Well, one thing at a time, folks. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to cheat. Well, here's the problem. The problem is that the only bit of her nightie that we have here happens to be in shadow. Okay, so with that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to raise it up about 10%. That should get us to about where we need to be. So now I'm going to save my work just to be safe. Go back to object mode, and frankly I could just delete these, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move them way the heck out of the way so I can go back to the camera view and move forward. Okay, so now I need to grab my grease pencil, and we're on Akari's 90, so let's deal with Akari's 90. What do you say? Let's do it. Boom. That does seem slightly dark to me. It doesn't quite seem as impinculated as I remember it from the past. And remember, we're going to be putting shadows over this, so alright, I guess what we'll do, yeah, we need an eye color too. Diggity dog. Boom, boom. Okay, that was easy. That looks pretty good. Let's see a little issue here. So I would say for the most part, while doing this work, I probably want to just stretch this out and have the palette be as completely visible as possible. And just a little touch up here and there. I mean, you have to do it in every single program. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just start going downstream and looking at some of these other things. This is Akari's hair. Boom. Boom. Uh-oh. Boom. That doesn't matter since it's off screen. I'm going to just color her hair wrap this time, the same color as the hair, and then we're going to just darken it with shadow. So, no problem. Alrighty then. So now we're in the same situation. Ooh, that was good. That was easy. I like easy. Easy is good. But as you can see, this is the problem that we do run into. It's not actually that super mega easy to always fix. It's not too bad. I'm actually hitting Alt now and just coloring it in. You know, it doesn't have to be exact. It needs to be close, but you know, obviously the actual HD screen's probably going to be about that size. So yeah, those little bitty flaws you really can't see. Fill that, fill that, fill that. Yeah, there's actually quite an amazing lot that you can't see that's flawed. I'm using the fact that Blender stops filling at the edge of the viewable area. I'm sort of using that to my advantage. Okay, this is kind of important. These ninjas that are in the background, we need to take Ink 2 and hide that so that we can fill that. And frankly, let me see. Are these guys? Yeah, these guys are not in any other shots, so that was just a mistake. So I'm just going to go Control Alt, get rid of those. Because what we want to do is play out this entire sequence, and then we'll fill those two ninjas on a separate layer because they are a static image that prevails over quite a few shots of Akari waving her hands around and chit-chatting. Okay. I mean, I prefer if I didn't have to pull out like this to do the do the fills, but meh, there are worse things. So yeah, we'll get the eye color, the whites of the eyes later. No problem. No problem. One. Oh, yeah. Okay, so now that's interesting. That would suggest that we're not on the exact keyframe, actually. We're not. I was correct. So, 90, which is her irises also. Pulling out. Boom. Okay. Hair. I wonder, I'm going to turn the leak size down and see what happens. You know, what's interesting is it helps, but it doesn't actually... Let's do that again. I'm going to turn the thickness down to this, and let's not have any simplifying going on. That should be pretty exact. And what we discover is it made basically no difference at all. So, therefore, you know, what that tells me is, in terms of the precision of filling in Blender Grease Pencil, it is what it is. You're going to get just so much precision, and that's it. Okay, so get used to it, folks. Now, I do believe... Yeah, okay. What I should have done is not filled the 90. That's okay. That's okay. See, I'm just looking at ways to speed the work up. Bent. 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 Boom, boom, boom. Uh-oh, yeah, well, no, that's okay, that's okay. Boom, boom. Boom. Yeah, so this is the way it always is in OpenTunes too. You know, whenever you're doing fill operations, it's a matter of getting a lot of it right and then going in and fixing all the things that went wrong. Part of the reason why it's not the most fun process is because I'm not really whippy on any process where basically things go wrong most of the time. Most of your work involves around dealing with everything that went wrong instead of what went right. But man, I gotta say, I have yet to find the software application that's really good with flood filling. You know, from a real world cartoon production standpoint. Pretty much they all suck from what I've seen. I haven't done exhaustive searching. I mean, I will admit Flash is pretty good from when I've used it. Yeah, like that, those little problems right there. You know, and so you're always doing this tug of war between, do I want to just go fast and get it blocked in? Or do I want to be very meticulous every step of the way? Oops, can't do that. Better use my stylus so I can draw accurately here. Yeah, there's a lot of... I mean, this stuff, you know, the leak size didn't seem to help. And it does look like having the thickness turned down is kind of detrimental too for painting fixes. Boom. So one nice thing in OpenTunes is I can sample this color and it'll jump me to that palette entry. I don't think there's a commensurate capability in Blender, unfortunately. It would be nice. Well, that's what you find. Each application seems to get certain things right and certain things wrong. You know, like the arc tool. You know, in Blender, it's pretty close to right. In OpenTunes, it's not. Okay. Alrighty. Fill. Fill. See, that time, I wonder if it's because of the leak size settings. It seemed to have done a better job of not leaving a white line between the two fill operations. So, blah, blah, blah. This is what we do. Work, work, work. Work, work, work. Oh, yeah. Not horrible. Not horrible, but as you see, yeah, somebody out there's going to be going, Dave, turn down your leak size for crying out loud. You're correct. But here's the thing about that, actually. I want to make the case that in point of fact, if I turn the leak size down, instead of looking like this, it's going to look more like this. Okay, it's still going to have the same problem based on my earlier test, which means that all I will accomplish is make the problems harder to find, harder to see, which is probably not a win. I would at least rather see them clearly so that I can fix them. That's my thinking at this point, anyway. Boom, 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 doo. Ah, wrong color there, Junior. Akari hair. Boom, boom, boom. And boom. I'm going to go ahead and fill all that area in, actually. Yeah, golly, man. This is not reflecting super well on Blender, I must say. Well, you know, and isn't this the way it is? Every single application that I've used, which means, you know, Pencil 2D, Blender 2.79, OpenTunes, even TV Paint. Actually, I was testing TV Paint a bit this week. They all crumble at this stage right here. Ink and paint. Not so much ink. Most of them do a good job on ink. But when it comes to painting and flood filling, you know, intelligently, I guess if I was going to pick a fave, it would be TV Paint. It appears that their fill algorithm is a little bit smarter than most people's. And, okay, you could go crazy with this because obviously the closer you zoom in, the more problems you're going to see. And yet at actual, you know, resolution, which is probably in my case is about here, because I'm doing broadcast HD, so the final frames on the screen are not full HD, they're broadcast HD. And I do that for a reason, and I'm not going to explain the reason right now. But what we see is this is the actual this is the actual framing of the action. So I would have to say that we certainly have our level of detail to a suitable, yeah, because it's more like this actually. So that's impressive. Okay, Akari's hair. Back to work. 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 Okay, we've obviously got a major problem here. We need to block this in, baby. We need to make it so it ain't leaking. And we failed. Epic fail. There's a hole right there. I'm thinking I got it. Yeah. I got it. I got it, and I know I got it, and I'm feeling pretty good about that, I must say. Okay. Akari. Akari's irritated. Yeah. Akari's irritated. I'm going to go ahead and color that one in right there, too. We'll see if anyone notices. Wait a second, Dave. I don't think her ponytail was really that big. Is it or isn't it? Well, it's a big mystery, but keep in mind, this is my character. And if I want her to change. From frame to frame I can do it. No, not really. I'm just kidding. Boom. 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 So, yeah, right. Uh-huh. I don't think so. Boom. Okay. Looks pretty good. Let's go to the next and the next. Boom. Okay, so guys, am I like driving people insane by actually saying the word boom? You know, is that like a civil infraction? I think that seems like a fairly minor infraction to me. Yeah, I am definitely a little bummed though that I have to go in and fix this stuff on every single frame, because if you pull back to actual size, I mean, it's clearly visible. So it's not like, yeah, it's not like we're getting away with that. No sir. No sir. Boom. So yeah, I like saying boom for some very strange reason. I really don't know why. Well, the word boom has a rich history. Obviously, it is an onomatopoeia, meaning that the sound of the word is similar to what it is describing. The word boom would, you could argue that it sort of sounds like the sound of a booming sound. And you could also argue that that's a bunch of malarkey. Boom. Come on. Oh yeah. I like it more mucho. Okay, and her nightie actually really should be a dot right there and there. And I think I'm just going to paint this one. I'm just not even going to fight with Blender on that. Ooh, ooh. Man, she's purty. Ain't she purty? She's a purty girl. She's a purty girl. Yes, I've developed quite an affinity for this girl Akari. She's a spirited lass. Oopsie poo. She's a very, very spirited lass. I can't give too much away, but what I can say is that she will turn out to be very, very, very important. Not only to her family and friends and school, but quite literally to the whole world, which is pretty cool. I see a FLAW. Boom. Oh, come on, Blender. Really, dude? Okay, so you can see I cheated here. I basically just took her and flipped her. Okay, that worked out reasonably well. You can see all the wiggles in the lines. Ooh, that's bad. Let's make this maybe not quite. Let's do 50. 50 is probably a really good round number. Yeah. Okay. So if we cruise on in here, we can see all kinds of goofusness. Goofusness. Is that a word? Oops. Is goofusness a word? That is the question. And the answer is, if boom is a word, then goofusness is a word. What the heck? Let's go with it. Okay, Akari's nighty. Oh dear. Oh my. Oh shenanigans. That little spot right there. Okay, yeah, so I guess my conclusion at this point is Ink and paint in Blender, not really sure. Still a little bit reticent to become a fanboy. It's good, but I don't think it's fanboy good. Okay, so I guess come to think of it, I was just thinking about the fact that this ninja on the other ink layer, he actually crosses in front of Akari. So fact of the matter is that what I was thinking about is not actually that big of a deal, which is the overlap. See, I think this is, I will tell you folks, this is probably the direction we're moving. When I inked this, I really felt like I was inking with a brush. You know, old school. Reminds me of Walt Kelly's inking of the old Pogo comic strip. And I enjoyed doing it. It was fun. I liked the look and the feel. And when you go back to the actual screen size that we're going to be, you know, it almost looks like a uniform line. So, just saying. Just saying. Okay, squeeze, squeeze. And by gum and by golly, we got to put her foot in there again. Okay. Now, here, he's going to be in front of her. So, for that reason, we are good to go. Good to go, I tell you. Come on. Come on. You know, I have to say, I'm just noticed this, that the way I drew Akari, she's actually, she looks like Valerie, who's writing the story. She is put together kind of like Valerie. Which obviously suggests that she's put together quite nicely, which she is. Do 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 do. Yes, she's quite lovely, yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And we get 4 in a row. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Okay, so in terms of time, once I got all the bugs out the other day, the pencil test probably took, I mean, actually the way to think of it is the pencils took a day, the ink took a day, and I assumed that the painting's probably going to take a day. Which is bad, because that means that there's no way I could create a 24-minute episode in 60 days all by myself, which is kind of a bummer. I mean, who does that, right? But I was kind of hoping. And so, because it seems that working in roughly 30-second blocks works pretty well. So if you say you can do a 30-second block and it takes you 3 days, what you're really saying is you can do 10 seconds a day, which means it takes 6 days to create 1 minute. 6 times 24. $144. So now you're really looking at closer to 6 months. Which to me, I mean, obviously I've spent more time than that already on this thing, but, you know, I gave a lot of time to figuring out the workflow aspects of it, blah, 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 blah. So, where does that leave me in terms of this property? Well, it makes me think that it may be wise to, where are we at? Zen's hair. It may be wise to get, oh man, really, dude? That's what you're going to do. Okay, fill area. Why is that doing that? Why would it? Oh, new keyframe. Sorry. My bad. I'm an idiot. Okay, now it won't do that. Okay. Okay, well, we didn't get any leaks, so just to... Okay, that's better. That's better. So we see that definitely trying to avoid leaks is better than fixing leaks. Because now we still have these little issues, but frankly, at screen resolution, at real HD resolution, you can't see it. You actually can't see it, so therefore it does not matter. Okie dokie. Now, Zen does have eyes. Boom! And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw them like so. Alright, now that we're here, I'm kind of in the mood to finish up my frames. So therefore, I'm going to create one more material that is eyes, and I'm going to sample some gray so that we have a color that when we turn it up in brightness, we are getting very close to actual white. I don't want it to be completely white. I just want it to be really close. So now we're into, you know, to some degree you could say tedium, because we have to go in and take the effort to get these details pounded in there. And frankly, oh boy. Okay, so that's interesting. So it's like the thickness of the stroke goes away. Alright, let's do it like this real aggressively and see what happens. Okay, that looks good, so that's what I'll do. Just go like that. I'm singing Get Ready by Rare Earth. Gonna be doing that song in an event. There's an event going on that I'm involved with where I'm gonna be singing that song. Never met a woman who made me feel the way that you do. You're alright. That's a really cool song. Any song that can get away with singing fee fee fi fo fum, look out baby, 'cause here I come. Any song that can say fee fi fo fum and pull it off is, you know, okay by me. Okay, that feels pretty good, folks. What about Zen's robe? Okay, I'm going to actually cheat by going, I'm going to do this so that the fill will cut off. Which, I got to tell you, it works really, really well until you want it to. Stupid thing. Alright, let's just touch this up then, see if that does better. Okay, so now, to be, you know, perfectly not stupid about it, I probably should go back to my ink layer, which I sort of erroneously call lines instead of ink. And I really should probably switch back to my, okay, my brush, which is going to be ink on smooth. Yeah, there's the one. Okay. I'm zooming in. This is the inking brush / technique that I had mentioned. Oh, come on, Blender. Jeez, oh, Pete. I hit the up arrow. You pig. Here's why. Stupid as ever. This whole thing about frame 0 and frame 1 is just like completely idiotic in my opinion. You know, let it be one or the other. Why can I not go into negative frames like I've been able to in Blender for 20 years? But I can go to 0. Okay? So that means when I rewind, what happens when I rewind? Let's find out. It goes to 1. So it's respecting this. I don't know. And so it's like, how did I get on frame 0 to begin with, you know? Okay. Jeez. Yeah, bit of a clunk factor here, folks. Bit of a clunk factor. Well, for one thing, you know, this is a little vexing. These don't seem to parallel each other. So right now, what's really strange is what's highlighted here is ink 2, and it seems like that's what I'm on. But up here, I'm on lines. Now if I click lines, okay, so now they're following each other, which means that sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't, which is probably also less than stellar behavior. Yeah, that's just a tad concerning. Okay, so now the question is, do we want to finish the frame up? I think it would be more fun for me and more entertaining for the viewer if I finish it up. Okay. Basic concept here is that she was faced away from the window. So the window's behind her. So that means she's backlit. So I'm going to the shadows layer. The shadow layer should be clipped. And now we're going to see how this goes. Ready? Okay. So unfortunately it got fouled up right at the top. Alright, so just to be safe, I'm going to hit the star key so that this layer is isolated, so that I can then eliminate some stuff and see if it helped. You know what? Doggone, I'm going into sculpt mode. Hello. And I think it's on smooth right now, so we want to go shift spacebar and switch it to grab. And that's a little bit large. Okay. So I'm just gonna massage this. So this is one of this areas where Blender is superior. This ability to sculpt really anything at any time. You know, in OpenToon's parlance, it would be as if every character is always connected to the plastic tool, basically. That's what it's like. Okay, and then if I go back to draw mode, I can go ahead and put 1 or 2, I think just 1 actually, there. And now because she is in shadow, I'm going to go ahead and give her a little bit more shadow action here. And this is something I haven't done that much of. When I've done it in OpenToons, I typically have a single shadow layer and I sort of relegate it to one layer of darkness, if you will. So here I'm going to allow us to have a little bit more, which really means just one more layer of shadowing. Not bad. Not bad, not bad. I suppose I could do something of this nature. Actually, okay, I don't like that. Let's do that again. I definitely think adding a little extra shadow action is a win. Let's just see if this... you know, maybe. Maybe. No, definitely not. Okay. I think that that's a tough one. It does really look better. Oops, didn't mean to do that, folks. It does look better on the arm, I think, when we have the shadow. We just have to really be careful to keep it simple. You know, here, okay, are we going to have it cast a shadow? You know? Okay, I think that's okay. Okay, and shadow not filled, so use that to give it a little bit of texture, and then the highlight. Actually, we need highlight, not filled. Right? Yeah, it's going to be clipped, so I would say that looks pretty good. Well, now what about Zen? Okay, actually, setting aside the fact that I really should be drawing my lines more accurately, if she's backlit, then by gum and by golly, so is he. Right? So I'm going to take the opportunity to do something like that. Okay, that looks pretty good, other than we really should probably sculpt this down a little more. Yeah, that looks pretty good, I must say. Let's go to highlight and back to draw. Yeah, I don't know about that. Okay. What time is it? It's been almost an hour. 50 minutes. I think I'm ready to take a little break, so I'm going to hit the I'm going to hit print screen to make an icon, and then I need to hit star key so I can unsolo my layer, because obviously we've got a boo-boo right here. And this would be in fills, Zen's hair, fill tool. Boom, baby. Ooh, look at that. We've got one of those icky lines. Okay. There, fixed it. Okay, that looks pretty good. So, with that, I will sign off. This is how you do painting in Blender 2.8. It's all kinds of fun. And you know, folks, as I often say, there most definitely will be more later.